What is happening, guys? This is Kane here. I'm bringing you episode 3 of Scape and Listen. I'm actually running solo today. Josh is not with me, so I'm doing this by myself. Hopefully, I can still put together a nice little vlog for you guys. The topic of conversation today is going to be the freshly new released behind the scenes for April 2013. I've had a quick read over it. It looks pretty good, and I'm just here to discuss what I think of the behind the scenes and the changes that are going to be made to the game. I'll probably just go down the list on the post that was made on the homepage and discuss the topics in order. And you guys can give me your opinions on the topics down below in the comments, and it'd be sweet. The first thing they mention is the RuneScape 3 beta program, and this sounds pretty cool. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the behind the scenes video that the RuneScape that Jagex put out on their actual RuneScape channel on YouTube, but it looks pretty good. It talks about this switch from HTML from Java to HTML5, and the changes are significant. It's going to look pretty badass. It says here if you've got the gold or silver Premier Club member already, you'll be included. But if you are not in that, don't worry. You can still register your interest and vote, I think, or something like that. And they're going to choose a select few to be part of it and be able to play the HTML5 beta and pick out any bugs and stuff like that. I think the coolest part about that is that it's still going to be the live game. It's not going to be a beta that is going to act differently, or like it's not going to account towards your actual current account, which I think kind of was bad with the last one. I'm pretty sure that's how the last one worked, which it kind of sucked a bit because people didn't want to give up time playing on the live game to go play this. Whereas now you can be testing stuff, you can be doing all the cool new things, how the way things are going to look, while still making progress on your current account, which is awesome. It just says that your feedback is really important as we want RuneScape 3 to be the game that you want. The application window will only be open for 1 week, so make sure at the front of the queue. The fact that it's only 1 week is a bit weird to me. I think it should be longer, although I don't know if they are confident that it's going to be stable or confident in um, it's going to be like fine and stuff. But I guess they know what they're doing, so we'll leave it there. We'll move on to the next point, and that involves dungeoneering. Dungeoneering dual wielding is the first part. Following extensive feedback on the forums, we'll be adding new weapons to dungeoneering to allow for dual wielding. I think this is something they missed out when they brought the EOC in first time round. I think the EOC came out and dual wielding was sweet. Everyone was like, "Yeah, dual wielding's around. I can dual wield my dragon scimitars, or I can dual wield my dragon daggers, or whatever it was going to be." Um, and they completely ignored dungeoneering. A lot of people had the primal battle axe, I think it is, or the primal rapier maybe. Um, I am not high enough dungeoneering level, of course, to get those things, but I have the Promethean version. I have the two-handed Promethean. But the two-handed was always the best. And then when dual wielding came out, people were wondering what's going to be the best now. Is it going to be dual wielding these, or is it going to still be the two-hander? And they forgot to bring dual wielding weapons into dungeoneering till now. So that question is probably going to come up again, where people are going to say, what's the better option to use? Because I know, at least on the surface level of the game, that's probably mainly because Drygors are out and there's no two-handed Drygor weapon. But dual wielding is the best. Hands down, dual wielding is the way to go now. Solely because of the Drygor weapons, probably, but it's easily hands down the way to go. So it'll be interesting. I'm really interested to see how they make you get it. Whether a primal offhand rapier is gotten the same way as you get the primal rapier, or I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it should be relatively interesting. Um, the second part of this dungeoneering update as well is the charm collector, and the charm collector is something I've wanted for a long time. Unfortunately, now I am 99 summoning, but it's still very, very cool. The fact that you can have an item in your inventory, it says here that it'll be in the form of a little imp that'll sift through drop piles and find them for you, which it sounds really cool. Because I know, especially tasks that you don't really want to pick up the charms, especially if they're greens and golds. Because I know most RuneScape players, I think, will agree with me that it takes more effort than you think to pick up all the charms, and it really sucks, especially in tasks like Hellhounds, where there's so many gold charms, but because they're so often and they're only golds, you never want to pick them all up, so you just leave them behind. and I hate to think about how much summoning XP I've left behind. It really sucks to think about, but oh well. It's gonna change now. It's gonna be, yeah, as I said, a friendly imp sits in your backpack, and it's gonna pick up all the charms for you, which is sweet, which I think is fantastic. It's something they've needed for a while. I know a couple of other YouTubers have suggested it. I really think it's something they've needed for quite some time now, so it's good to see that they're bringing it into the game. Moving on to the next point, this brings us to Castle Wars. Castle Wars continues to Castle Wars continues to be one of your favorite minigames, and we've put together a significant upgrade to the way the game looks, feels, and rewards your efforts. I think they needed to upgrade Castle Wars looks. It was very, very old school and kind of tacky in a way, and the capes you wore and all that kind of stuff were just very bleh, and it was a little bit gross compared to some of the areas outside of the game. But regardless of that, it's good that they're going to rework it, but they're not only reworking it graphically, they're reworking how the game works. You now, instead of just getting a normal Castle Wars ticket, you will get a silver and a gold ticket. A silver ticket will be spent on consumable items, which I think is really good, and you get those regardless of whether you win, lose, or draw. And gold tickets get spent on the more sought out after items that are only awarded if the players win or draw. You'll also now be able to wear helmets in the arena, use altars in the spawn room, and wait far less time for the next game due to lobby improvements. I think that's really, really cool. Castle Wars, I remember, used to be really fun. I used to love doing it when lots of my mates played, but unfortunately, a lot of them have quit now, and I don't really have many people I can go play Castle Wars with. But I used to remember just loving to play Castle Wars. Castle Wars was so much fun. Used to be able to rock up there, play a couple of games, and smash out a few solid hours, and it was really good fun. I think it's a really good improvement that you can now wear helmets in there. I think that was a stupid idea in the first place. The fact that you had to have no helmet and cape. I understand the cape, so you can tell teams apart, of course, but like, why the helmet? It just didn't seem to make sense to me. And now it's going to be great because you can use things like barrow sets of fits. So Darox will finally work in Castle Wars and stuff like that. So that'll be great. Um, Moving back to the tickets idea though, the silver and the gold. I'm not sure what the consumable items are going to be, but I think there's like potions or something you can buy there. I haven't been to Castle Wars for a long time. Back in the day, it was just the decorative armor you used to be able to buy. But the fact that they're splitting them up kind of worries me because, as you all probably know, Josh has the Trim Completionist Cape, meaning he's completed the 5,000 Castle Wars games requirement, and it's probably going to change. It's going to be a ticket-based thing now rather than a games played thing, and hopefully Josh has enough. Hopefully they make it the silver tickets so that it doesn't matter if you won or lost those games. It's just going to be the silver tickets. But if they make it the gold tickets, I really hope he's won enough games because seeing him go back to Castle Wars would just be terrible. I know how much he disliked it, and he had to just soldier through it. So seeing him having to go back would suck so bad. Um, for the Jewel Arena, we're reducing the number of visible arenas, but to combat overcrowding, there'll be an instance automatically generated for anyone who can't get into one of those. It may look like there's less room, but there's no way you'll miss out on your jewel. I think that is really good. They're getting a lot of instance things involved now, which I think is great. Um, there's lots of situations where I think instance worlds shouldn't be around, but I won't get in too far into that. I'll leave that for a later date or something like that. But the Jewel Arena does need a graphical update. It's been like that since I can remember, and it's a bit, as like Castle Wars was, a little bit tacky, but whatever. It's getting redone, so that's great. I don't think there's any changes to how the Jewel Arena is going to function or anything along those lines, but sorry, sorry about that. I don't think it's going to change any game mechanics about it, but hopefully, I say but all the time, but I need to stop doing that. Apologies if it's annoying, guys. So the Jewel Arena is not getting any major changes other than graphical. Moving on to the next thing that Jagex have said in the behind the scenes is Hunter Charms. We originally added the Hunter Charm sprites back in 2010 as a way of hunters to gather summoning charms just south of the Gnome Stronghold. They suck, man. They're really annoying. Like, I don't know if you guys have had them, but I've had them as my daily challenge for Hunter to go and catch. I don't even remember how many it is. A few of those things, and it's annoying to do. Like, it's a real hassle because the click radius on them isn't very big, and it's just really annoying to do. So it says here all the associated gameplay will be reworked and be far more fun, easier to use, and more rewarding. The sprites themselves will be easier to see and catch. The XP you'll earn will be far more generous, scaling with your hunter level, and you get many more charms from the activity too, which sounds great, including more blue and crimson charms than before. And we're also adding a new mystical charm slice, acting as a wild card. Now, I'm not really sure how that's going to work, if you get to choose the charm when you cash them in, or whether or not you can just use it at the altar, or I'm not even sure. But anyway, it says that you can head over there to, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, Yaktui, and he gives you Yaktui's stick, which can be upgraded for those really getting to grips with the area, offering XP boost to all hunting. This is really cool. The fact that they did bring this out in 2010, a way to give skillers a chance to raise their summoning, so summoning you didn't have to get charms just from combat, I think was really good and like really thoughtful of them to do something like that because they needed to. They needed another way to get charms besides combat, and they did that, which is really good. And hopefully this update will allow more people to go over to it and try it out. The next thing down the list for behind the scenes is EOC update. This is we're addressing some major pieces of feedback from the new combat system this month, following some great discussion in-game and on the forums. The hard-earned stats will mean more in combat, meaning players with the best stats will have a significant advantage over other players that do not. I think this just means if you have like 99 attack, that is going to be much better than someone who doesn't. So it's going to reward you for training your skills a lot more. At the moment, someone with inferior stats can still chain together a sweet ass ability combo and just down you. And it's really not fair. It's like someone with far inferior stats to me can still kill me quite easily. Um, it also says here they're changing armor stats to bring back the choice between defensive and offensive armor. I think this is good. This is what RuneScape used to be all about. You used to be able to sacrifice, I think is the right word, your defensive capabilities to be hit more, but to also increase your offensive capabilities. And that was the risk people took to make the game more exciting and more thrilling and fun to go player killing and stuff like that. It'll either be offensive, defensive, or hybrid gear with stats to match. I'm really interested to see because it says down below further that bandos will be offensive oriented, for example, and it's gonna increase your max hit. So it's not gonna be strength bonus. It's just gonna be hit bonus, damage bonus, which I think is kind of cool to be honest. But the thing I'm wondering is like the offensive, defensive, and hybrid gear. Where the next set's going to come in? Are they going to be offensive? Are they going to be defensive? Are they going to be hybrid? It's hard to say. And with that in mind as well, what about the ports armor, the Tetsu, the Sea Singer, and the Death Lotus? Where are they going to fit in with there? Because I understand that Bandos is going to be offensive. What about Armadillo? What about the Robes of Subjugation? There's lots of different options, and you need to make sure you have a balance of defensive gear with offensive gear, because if you don't, and like you're level 70 defense and you want to wear your best armor, but it's only like an offensive gear available, then I don't think that's a very good option, because if you can only have an offensive gear, how can you be a tank, or how can you be, you know, a strong whatever? I just think they need to make sure they balance it enough. It's going to be really interesting how they do that, but hopefully, and I have faith they will. Um, they've also said that with those updates, we're going to improve the game program that controls basic hit chances, making the whole combat system more enjoyable. I'm not really sure what that means, making the basic hit chances. Does that just mean you're going to hit more often? I feel as though with my Drygore weapons, I very rarely hit zeros as it is, but it it looks like that's the case. I'm not sure unless you guys can think of another explanation for it or any other way to, suss out what's actually going on, then please let me know. But yeah, I think controls basic hit chances. That's all it can mean. And then down the bottom here, perhaps most importantly though, we are changing potions and prayers to be even more effective in combat. All because of your feedback. Now this is huge. A lot of people I know personally, a lot of my friends, basically quit EOC because of how ineffective overloads and turmoil were. People were angry because they spent so much money. I had a couple of friends spend up to like 500 mil plus a long time ago, but they spent about 500 mil plus to get 99 or 96 Herblore and 95 prayer. They wanted, like, the fact is they wanted to do it the fast way, so they did the best potions they could and they used Frost Dragon Bones. So it wasn't the most effective or efficient way rather, but it was fast and it got them there. And then when EOC came out, they found that all that money went to waste because these weren't effective anymore, and they were not worth how much money they spent on them, and they wished, they could get a refund or something like that. Which was sad. I want my friends to play this game. This game is far more enjoyable when you have friends that play it with you, and being able to do that is so cool. Like it becomes a social thing too, and like it sounds sad. People are gonna say it's sad that like you have a social thing on a game. Like, yeah, but so what? I think this game is so much more fun when you play with friends and you can enjoy the thing like a whole experience. Whoops. Next on the list is the private God Wars dungeons. Now I'll have to read this over so I get a complete understanding and don't make any false accusations or incorrect statements. But as it says here, what better way to test out your new armor and combat prowess than with your own crash-free private God Wars dungeon for you and your buddies. It can be quite frustrating when rooms get overcrowded by a new group of battle-crazed adventurers hungry for those drops. Well, those days can be a thing of the past, as you'll soon be able to hire, for a small GP fee, your own version of the dungeon. Now, this sounds cool. I don't know how long the hire would be for, whether it's a once-off payment. The fact that it says hire doesn't really jump to that conclusion, um, or whether it's going to be like as soon as you go in, if you come out, the hire is void. There's a lot of different variables that can go into it. The main reason I used to not like instance worlds, especially for things like God Wars Dungeon, was I thought that if they were all instance world, that it would bring too many drops into the game. The fact that you can't be crashed and there is technically an infinite number of General Gradors or Krills or whatever, that there can be so many, there's potential to be so many more dropped that it sounds a little bit, I still want it to be a rare item. I don't want it to be something that can just get dropped all the time because, or it's just going to deplete in price because people are getting it so much more often. And then it also says down here, which is really interesting, for those who like a tougher challenge, a hard mode can be accessed. In this mode, God Wars bosses who featured in the World Wakes. That's a quest I haven't actually done yet, but I need to get onto doing. I've heard a lot about them and read a lot, and I saw Josh fight some of them. But they have all their new combat mechanics that they had in the quest, but with far higher stats. These guys are really, really tough and can be accessed by you and a group of your friends, offering far more valuable drops than their normal brethren. Dare you take on the fight? Does this mean there's going to be superior versions of the Bando's armor? Superior armadillo? Superior robe? Like a superior Saradom? It's like Saradome and hilt? Is there going to be the normal versions and the superior versions, like they're similar to what there is with the Port's armor? That's my guess. That's my sort of prediction. I don't think it's going to be new drops altogether, but the fact that there might be superior versions is really cool to think about, and I kind of like the idea. But the instance world still gets me. The fact that there can be such a huge number of, I use Grador as an example all the time when I think of God Wars, a huge number of Gradors being killed at one certain time just increases the drop rate so much more. Like there's going to be such a huge influx of those items into the game. I feel as though the price isn't going to be as worth it. It's not going to be as worth. It's still not really worth it to go to God Wars Dungeon anymore because things have just crashed so hard. This game needs a money sink somehow. It needs something that's going to take cold hard cash GP out of the game so that GP becomes more valuable and that these items are going to be worth more. That's what this game needs, and I really hope they come up with something to bring that in. But staying on the topic of God Wars, I think the instance war is going to be a really 50-50 thing for me. I think it's a great idea being able to avoid being crashed and stuff, but I really think it's going to hurt the prices of many items. I'll move on to the last topic now. XP additions. Now this sort of intrigued me at first. I wasn't really sure what it meant, but now when I see it, have you ever been training your skills, watching your XP dials, and thought, that's odd, I wonder why I didn't get any XP for that? Well, so have we. This month, Jagex are going to add small amounts of XP for doing things that used to not give you any. They say over here there's going to be small amounts of XP for over 30 different processes in RuneScape, ranging from grinding unicorn dust to picking flax, even getting XP for making unfinished potions or adding a seed to pot plants. That's a lot of things that are going to annoy me now because I've done a lot of that stuff Am I going to be reimbursed my XP? Probably not, but um, it's still cool to see because I think it was kind of annoying in the game because there's these things you'd have to grind repeatedly, such as making the unicorn dust. You'd have to do that over and over and over again, and you get no gain out of it other than the fact that you can then now make the potion that will give you the XP. The fact that it gives you some XP to grind that unicorn dust will just, oh, got my random event. Let's kill this rock crab and finish off my box. Um, the fact that it'll give you some XP for doing those things now is even cooler. I'm just interested to see what XP you'll actually get. Oh crap. What XP you actually do get from doing things such as picking flax. Will picking flax get you crafting XP? Will it get you fletching XP? Will it get you what else is there? Agility maybe? I'm not sure what picking flax would actually get you, but it's interesting, no doubt. There's no doubt about the fact that it's interesting, but just have to wait and see what XP we get, I guess. Anyway, guys, that's everything that was covered in the behind the scenes. I hope I didn't speak too quickly for you guys. I um I really hope this is a long enough video for you guys. I struggled without Josh. The Hopefully he can be back for the next one. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, a thumbs up on the video would be great. Just to let you guys, just for you guys to let me know that you did enjoy it and you did watch this far and stuff like that would be really great, and I'd love it. Um, but yeah, please feel free to comment down below with your opinions on any of the updates or some of the updates or the way I spoke or anything at all. Even if you want to tell me what you had for breakfast, that'd be great as well. But yeah, I will hopefully speak to you guys again soon and take care and I'll see you around.